Now we're going to do some wind related crafts. Now there are a couple of different ones that we are going to have a go at, but don't worry because we will go through each one step by step. For this activity you will need a paper plate, or if you don't have a paper plate then you can use a piece of coloured card. If you draw around a side plate then that's about the right size. A pair of scissors, a pencil or a pen, some sticky tape, some string, and if you want to decorate your spinner then you will need whatever it is you're going to use to decorate it, whether that's crayons, felt tips or coloured pencils. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take our paper plate or circle of card and decorate it. Now you could do one side or you could do both sides. If you only do one side then it is worth bearing in mind that it's easier to colour in on the non-shiny side of the paper plate. Once you've done your decoration, take your paper and your pen or pencil and draw a spiral all the way around your paper plate. As you can see, it does not have to be a perfect spiral. This is not about perfection, it's just about making something which looks really cool in the wind. So the next thing you're going to do is grab your scissors and we're going to cut all the way around this line that we have just drawn. Be careful with your scissors and just make sure that you are cutting the paper plate and not your fingers, because that would hurt. So we're just following this line all the way around. Does not have to be a perfect spiral. Mine's not perfect, but it should still look cool in the wind. So we keep going. Oops, see, I missed the line a little bit there. But we're going all the way around until it looks like a really big, tall, long snake. And we keep following that line until we get to the end of it. Gets a little bit trickier the closer you get to the middle. There we go, all the way to the end of that line. So now it should look something like this. Once we've done this, we take our string and we cut off a piece of about the right length. Doesn't really matter how long it is, it's up to you to decide how long you want it to be. The next thing that we do is we take our sticky tape, we put our string on our spiral, we take a piece of our tape, if you can find the end, which is always the tricky bit with tape, and we stick that string onto our spiral. Be careful that you don't stick the spiral together like I nearly did. You might want to just make sure that your tape is small enough that it doesn't stick different bits together, because otherwise it won't work properly. So once your string is attached to your spiral, it should hang up like this. And now you can hang it inside or outdoors and it should move with the wind. For our next wind activity, we are going to make a kite. For your kite, you will need a piece of A4 card, 3 paper straws, some tape, a pair of scissors and some string. If you want to decorate your paper kite, then it would be good to have some pens, pencils or crayons as well that you can decorate it with. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take our A4 piece of paper and we're going to make the right shape for our kite. So firstly, you take the right hand edge and you fold it over till it meets the other side and creates a triangle. Just like that. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to cut off this bottom piece, but don't throw that piece away because we need it later on. So we cut all along this edge, and just remember, especially if you've got little fingers, be careful when you use your scissors so that you're cutting the cardboard and not your fingers. There we go. So now we've got the spare piece and our triangular piece. So next we turn our square piece around so that our crease goes from the top all the way to the bottom and it looks like a diamond shape rather than a square. Take one of your straws and using your tape secure it from top to bottom, just like this. You might need 2 pieces of sticky tape to make sure it's in the right place. Now our straw is not quite long enough to get all the way to the bottom, so we need to cut another piece of straw about the right length, just like that. And then we take this piece on underneath that one. Just like that. So you should now have the straw going all the way from the top to the bottom of your kite. Next, we take another straw and we chop it in half. We're going to pop these straws at either side of the middle straw and we just move them around until they reach the edge of the paper. So on this kite you can see it reaches the edge there and the edge there. And then we get our sticky tape again and we secure our straws about the right place. You might want somebody to hold the straw while you're doing this because they can roll around a little bit, which isn't very easy. So we pop both our straws on where they meet the edge of the paper. Now, you will notice that there is a little piece of straw left. Don't throw this piece of straw away, because even though we don't need it on our kite, we do need it on another activity. So keep that bit of straw safe. Next, we're going to take a length of string and we're going to attach it to our kite. Now there's a couple of different ways that we can do this. If you've got very, very delicate fingers and you're good at doing fiddly things, then you might be able to poke your string underneath your straw and tie it onto the straw at the point where the straws meet. If you've find that a little bit tricky, then we can just use our tape to attach our string at the point where the straws meet in the middle, just like that. Doesn't have to be super duper neat. And string's attached. Now finally what we're going to do is we're going to make a tail for our kite. So that is where this piece of paper comes in, the one that we chopped off the bottom when we made the square earlier on. Take your scissors and cut up your piece of paper until you're nearly at the end, but not quite. Don't cut all the way to the end. Flip your paper over and do exactly the same in the other direction. Cut it in a straight line all the way, not quite to the end, so you leave a bit of a gap there. Flip it over and do the same thing again. Cut all the way down your rectangle till you are nearly at the end. There we go. Now when you open it out, you've got a tail for your kite. So we can attach this, mine's really long, to the bottom of our kite using another piece of tape. Just pop that on there. Make sure it's attached. I think we might need another one on this one. There we go. And now we've got our kite, our string to fly it, and our tail, so it looks nice and pretty in the wind. So that's how we make our crafty kite. Go and have a little bit of fun running around with that. See how high you can get it. Pop a video on the Facebook page if you are up for it. We would really love to see you outside playing with your kites. And when you're ready, we've got one final wind activity craft to do. For our final craft, we are going to make a helicopter. Now for this craft you will need one A5 piece of cardboard or paper, a paper clip, a pen or a pencil, and some scissors. If you want to be super exact, then you could also use a ruler. Now this craft can be a little bit fiddly and complicated, so if you're somebody who's a bit younger, then you might want to ask an older person in your household for a little bit of help. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our A5 piece of cardboard and fold it in half so that the shortest sides are matching. Just like that. Then we open it out and we use our scissors to cut along this line. Just remember, when using scissors, be really careful to cut the paper and not your fingers. Once we've got our halved piece of cardboard, we can get rid of one of the halves because we only need to use the other one. Spin it around so that the long side is facing you, and fold it in half again so that the long sides are touching each other. Just like that. We then open it out again and we're going to cut all the way down that line that we've just folded. We only need one of these rectangles, so we don't need that one. Next we're going to fold our rectangle in half again, but this time, so the shortest size match, just like that. Then open it out. Now this time we're not cutting along that line. Spin it around so that the long side is facing you. Take a look at the middle line that you've just folded and draw a line at each side of that fold about ½ centimetre from that fold. If you're not sure how big ½ centimetre is, you could use your paper clip as a guide if you want to. So draw a line each side. Try not to draw on the table like me. Draw each side of that fold just like that. Now what we're going to do is on one side we're going to draw a line down the middle, but only up to the line that we've just drawn. Just like that. Then we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut along that long line, but only as far as the horizontal line that we drew. Now we've got these two bits, so we can fold one to one side, one to the other side, and we should have some propellers. So now we need to do this side of our helicopter. What we need to do is split it into three. Your finger can be quite a good guide of that, although if you've got little fingers it might be a finger and a half. So draw two lines down this side to cut it into thirds. Again, you're only going as far as the horizontal line that you've drawn. Now this time we are not cutting down these lines. What we are going to do is make one cut along that line just as far as the third that we've drawn, and one cut along this line just as far as the third that we've drawn. Make sure that you don't cut your propellers in the process by accident. Make sure they're not in the way. So once you've cut those little bits, you can fold each third into the centre, just like that. Now finally what we're going to do is we're going to fold the bottom up just a little bit, about a centimetre or so, and we're going to add our paper clip onto the bottom, just like that, to add a bit of weight. And now we should have our finished helicopter spinner, and hopefully it'll fly. Go and have a go at flying your helicopter from the stairs, although ask an adult just to make sure that you're safe when you do that. If you've not got stairs you could use a chair, but again, get somebody to hold the chair and help to keep you safe. That comes to the end of our 3 wind crafts. We hope you've enjoyed them, and we're looking forward to seeing all of your videos and photos on the Facebook group.